Welcome to everyone. Welcome to another episode of Legal Shit. We're here on again another beautiful
Saturday morning again in paradise.
So this is a live broadcast. So what happens after this is we kind of modify the video and we upload it to Spotify.
Yeah.
But interestingly, have to do some edits, and we're not supposed to be talking for the first part of the episode. But Antoinette ruined this one, so
I didn't ruin anything. So Life is perfect.
If you go on Spotify, you'll notice that there'll probably not be an introduction anyway.
What do you mean? You can still make it up.
Okay, so I'm here with the lovely and talented Antoinette.
Hi guys.
And
TK, how are you, everyone?
TK's here live and in person again.
Yes.
So what are we going to talk about this week? So first thing I wanted to do was just touch base on a topic we raised, I guess, on
several weeks back,
with the Menendez brothers. And for those of you who remember, those are the two kids who shotgunned their parents to death in, I think, in August of 1989, and they've been in prison for 35 years. And what they did is they sought clemency from Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, and they've also filed and had a hearing yesterday on a motion to be resentenced. They want a resentencing hearing. They want to be able to come into court and explain evidence or give evidence to the judge.
Mm-hmm. What did I do?
Anyway.
What happened?
You put it on anyway. Okay.
Oh, well, it was only on me?
Yeah, that's right. So anyway.
Wait. Because it's all about me.
Yeah. So anyway, so if you haven't seen me, but you can hear my voice, here I am. Anyway, the Menendez brothers sought clemency from Governor Newsom. He's still considering that. And they also filed a motion with the court to be resentenced or have a resentencing hearing, which was over the objection of the district attorney out in California. And the judge yesterday ruled that next Thursday and Friday, I believe, I think they're going to have a hearing for each brother on each day. Next Thursday and Friday, they're going to have resentencing hearings. And it's possible that the Menendez brothers could be resentenced to a sentence which would allow them to essentially get out of jail.
So where does Gavin Newsom come in here? Is he like the last hope for them after they do this?
I think so. If the judge were to deny them, I think then Gavin Newsom could still pardon them. And,
he's going to wait till the very last
Oh,
second,
he wants to see what he wants to. He'd rather, I think that's a political issue. I think he'd rather let the courts decide that one.
Right. So he doesn't have to get any hot water with his constituents, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So anyway,
so that's an update on that. Huh?
So that's our update on that. What are you over there? What are you doing over there?
Nothing. I'm trying to share everything.
Don't you dare close that cover.
I'm trying to share everything to Facebook.
We're trying to stay live for the entire time here.
Leave me alone.
I'm leaving you alone. Okay, so that's our update for the Menendez brothers. They're going to have a hearing next Thursday and Friday, and next Saturday we'll be able to let you know what happened if you don't tune into the news yourself.
Yeah.
So listen, a lot of times people ask in life, can I legally do this?
And that's the question. I ask you that question all the time.
All the time.
I call Tim and I'm like, babe, is this legal?
Is this legal?
Can we do this?
Can I do this?
How can I make it legal?
Yeah.
Some people don't even bother asking.
They just do.
Well, you have a lawyer next to you. I mean, you might as well just make sure you're safe, you know?
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about being a lawyer, especially in these days, is the law is so complex.
Yeah.
Most lawyers don't know crap about anything.
Because it changes so fast, too.
And it changes from state to state, county to county, district to district. And there's some crazy laws out there. We've been talking about this over the last week. There are crazy laws out there that are so anti now that they don't even matter, but they still are in place.
Still on the books.
Yeah, still on the books. So there are a couple of that we actually dug up. So let's get to that. I'm so curious. I'm so excited about this because I really want to know how that pertains to live streaming too.
Well, yeah, Teddy's what do you call yourself? A serial live streamer.
An addicted live streamer at this point. I've done quite a few videos and I've run into some situations, and it would be great to clarify a few things. Yeah. And I have some experience with it as well.
Okay, and Antoinette has some interesting stuff. When she was in Paris last visit during the Olympics in last July.
I'll share right after.
She'll be able to share.
Questions come.
Yeah, she'll share her experience with live streaming over in the lovely city of Paris, France.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think you could drive barefoot? Is that legal or illegal?
I would have to say that is legal, because when are they going to catch you?
All I know is if I'm coming from the club and my heels are hurting me, and I've been walking all night, twerking, dancing on the dance floor, shaking my little Watusi, and my feet are hurting, I'm going barefoot. Right. So is this illegal or not?
Most likely, it is not illegal.
Oh,
Although,
goodness.
see, this is where
I would think it should be illegal to wear heels while you're driving.
There's an actual law about wearing high heels that is illegal in a certain city in America still, because a woman was caught with her heel going into a grate and she got injured.
Yeah. Those heels are dangerous, man.
No, listen. Last time I wore high heels and drove, I had a real problem.
I hope not.
No, but so for the most part, driving barefoot is not illegal. But if you were in an accident, the other side could use it as evidence that you were being negligent because the barefoot is
right. It's more slippery.
It's more slippery, but there's grids on the what is it? The panel, the pedals.
The pedals.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, I think it's okay to take your high heels off or take your sand. I'd rather drive barefoot than with flip flops.
It's easier.
Oh yeah, flip flops are terrible.
Much easier. Much easier.
What about your foot getting caught right underneath the pedal sometimes?
Because
that's happened to people, right? Especially if you wear heels, I guess. Right?
But no, the heels. What it does is you're elevated and your foot is in a certain position, and then you're higher in the chair because of the heels, and then you have to pick your knees. It's just awkward. That's why most women usually take their shoes off when they're driving. At least I do.
By the way,
actually usually in the back seat.
By the way, if any men know the feeling of driving with high heels, I think.
Yeah. We're gonna have to talk to a few here that do drag shoes. They probably are well aware of this situation. So, by the way, if everybody's watching right now the program live, you can go to chat. You can ask us questions. You can chime in on what you think is legal or not legal.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so here's another one that a lot of people have asked, and I've heard people talk about it. Can I exceed the speed limit as long as I'm keeping up with traffic? In other words, is it illegal or legal to break the speed limit?
So give us an example of that. So does that mean that if the speed limit is 65 and everyone's doing 75 and you're going 75 with traffic, if you go 65, you're actually a trouble to traffic, right?
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That would be a defense, but the law is that no, they can stop you and pick you out of the 100 cars doing 70, and you're going to get the ticket.
Okay, so I have a story on that one. So I was, this is before I went off to college. My cousin I was driving all the way from Jupiter, so I get a little sleepy sometimes. It's a long drive, and I can't handle it. So I was driving all the way from Jupiter. My cousin didn't have a car, so I drove all the way from Jupiter, went to West Palm Beach, picked her up, dropped off to work early in the morning. Then I would drive back home, and then I would drive all the way back and pick her up from work and then drop her back wherever she was because she wasn't at home anymore.
Where's this?
This was here in Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida. Okay. And I was living in Jupiter. So Jupiter was our first home. So at the same time, I am tired, and I'm one of those people, my cousin needs to go. And then I have the opportunity. My mom's giving the car. My mom's putting the gas in. And I'm not thinking like, oh my goodness, asking her for gas. No, I'm just doing it. So at the same time I'm driving, I dropped her off. Now I'm driving back home to Jupiter. Jupiter is like 20 minutes. In my mind, it's long. Okay. And I'm like sleeping. My eyes are closing. And then I see I'm like, there was a police car. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just stay with him.
Oh, his speed, you mean?
Yeah, no, he was in front of me. So I was like, okay, good. I'm tired. I don't want to go too fast. I don't want to go too slow. Let me just gently, go with them and, I'll be fine.
You can say it.
Shut your mouth. This motherfucker had the nerve to speed up, slow down, speed up. My sleepy ass is speeding up and slowing down and speeding up, thinking, oh, I'm good. All of a sudden, he goes behind me, pulls over, goes behind me and pulled me over and gave me a ticket and says, I'm allowed to speed. You're not.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did not even know I was speeding because I was just like, okay, I'm sticking with him. He's going to follow the rules. No, he played the game.
Gotcha.
And I got a ticket. That was one of my first tickets. I think 19 or something like that. And I was helping my cousin. No, I didn't ask her to help me pay for the ticket. I just paid.
I mean, you could say that to the cop all day long. Why did you pull me over when the other guy cut me off?
I'm like, I wasn't speeding. What are you talking about?
They'll say, I caught you this time.
You. Yeah. You're the one I caught this time. Yeah. I always like to, when I drive, we kind of learned this from doing speed traps when I was a police officer. But if there's someone doing 90 in the left lane, I stay just on like his right tail. Mm-hmm. So he's going to get caught first on the radar. Right. So they're not going to get both of us unless there's multiple cars like there was the other day when they were checking for window tints
Oh goodness, we don't want to talk
Supposedly.
about
That
that.
happened recently again?
No,
No,
it's
my
just
window
the last
sensing,
time. But anyway, all right. So I guess the
Good thing I had a lawyer. I had to call.
yeah.
You brought up being sleepy. So can you actually get a ticket for being sleepy? Is it worse or just as bad as being intoxicated when you get pulled over?
You
No.
can't. You have to be able to prove that.
Yeah.
That's
prove
a fine line, right? Because people need to pull over and then they need to sleep in their car, and that's the next question, isn't it?
If you're wait, remember our friend? He was sleepy, but he was drunk. He left the strip club.
Oh, well,
Yeah, and he was sleeping in his car, but also he was intoxicated.
that's
But
right.
he
Well,
was like, you know what? I'm too tired. You can tell that story.
well, let's go to the next
Yeah,
one.
let's go to the next question.
Oh.
Can I sleep? Is it legal to sleep in my car overnight?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
Are you serious?
Well, it depends. If you're sitting in your driveway, you certainly can.
Oh.
But how about if you pull over and park on someone's private property? Are you allowed to sleep in your car? That's
Private-
trespassing.
Or a parking
That's-
lot for a
You
mini
said
mall,
private
and
property.
it
The
closes
first
after a
part.
certain point, and it's called trespassing.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Mini malls are.
Yeah, I'm telling
Well,
you.
it depends. I mean, is there a Planet Fitness that's open for 24 hours in the parking lot, and you could technically stay there all night? I mean,
Probably.
or is it something where all of the stores are closed?
See, what happens in those circumstances is someone calls the cops and say there's a guy,
Camping.
unconscious, asleep,
Camping.
or something
Yeah.
in his car.
Oh,
Well, that's
wow.
and then the police show up, and if you've been drinking and in your car and you have access to the keys, you could
Yes.
get locked up for drunk driving.
Now, that's
Yeah,
a
and
curious
that's what
question.
happened to one of our friends.
What constitutes access to your keys
Yeah.
and your intention to possibly drive,
Right.
or your intention to just sleep? Who knows what's happening?
No, wait, you helped the case before.
What's that?
Remember what? I don't want to call his name. Remember, he came to visit. He went to the
Oh,
strip
yeah,
club,
yeah.
fell asleep in his car, but he was intoxicated.
They arrested him for DUI.
Yeah,
It should be. It's not drunk driving. It's driving.
and the
under
only
influence.
reason. So what happened was, because it's a push start car, your key has to be outside of the vehicle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it has to be outside of the vehicle. It cannot be in the vehicle at all. Oh, wrong thing. I'm looking over there.
So back in the day, if it was just in the ignition,
In
you
the
could be arrested,
ignition,
right?
no,
think
it has
so.
to be in the trunk.
Oh, wow. Who
It
puts
has to be in the trunk.
No,
Yeah, it has to be in the
And
trunk.
again, that bleeds into the fact that I used to do criminal defense as a cop, and then I did criminal defense work in Miami. There's probably cases that have come up since I stopped practicing. I have no idea what the law is right now.
Yeah.
Well, you take your keys and
It's
That's
case
interesting
by
with push
case.
button, right? Because you could just have it in your pocket,
Mhm.
and technically, with one push of a button, you're
can start.
starting the
Yeah.
car, and they can arrest
And
you.
you're drinking and driving.
You don't even have to move, right?
He was
Just the
knocked
car
out.
has
He
to
was
be on.
knocked out
he was-
sleeping.
I don't know
Yeah.
whatever happened with that case, but anyway,
He got fined. He got in trouble.
I don't remember.
Yeah, because he broke the law.
So what if it's a
Law that
really
he didn't know
cold
about.
day? If it's a really cold day, you want to sleep in your car. The car's technically on
Oh.
because you want to get the heat going,
Probably get
right?
arrested.
But you'll get arrested because
No.
you want to be.
No, but you only get arrested if you're drinking. If you're just there and you turn the car
Well,
on.
no, they come to you because of intoxication. What I'm saying
Yeah.
is, can
That's
they arrest you because you have the heat blowing?
Yeah, I don't
Does
know.
anyone know? Oh yeah, because you're intoxicated, but you had to turn the heat on so you don't freeze.
Hmm.
Yeah, you don't
Gotcha.
freeze. Yeah,
But
you want to sleep for
And
a
you
couple
want to
hours.
sleep and sleep it
Yeah.
off.
All right. Well,
You sleep outside the car.
That's a
Sleep in
tough one.
the back seat.
yeah, there you go. Go in the back seat.
That's a good idea, right? I
Yep.
hope. Someone, police officer, if you know the answer, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. I just don't know anymore.
I mean, we don't want to just research it right now. Let us know if we're wrong. If you know the answer, let us know.
This is why God created Uber.
Oh, oh
But
goodness.
they think they're doing the right thing to get their sleep back. You sleep in the back
Exactly, and they
seat,
still get
Yeah.
and they
arrested.
get in trouble for that.
Yep. See,
Well,
Hopefully not in the back
seat.
What police officer would? I know.
assholes. Well,
If it's the back seat, that's an asshole.
well, trust me, there's some
They have
assholes out there.
issues. Some
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
They have issues.
Okay. Can I screenshot someone's Instagram and share it? You're the Instagram
Legally
queen. Well,
risky.
yeah.
If it's private, it's a breach of privacy. If it's public, it could still violate copyrights or terms of use, especially if you're using commercial or to shame someone.
Yeah.
Using it commercially or to shame someone.
Oh, to shame somebody. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're using it against them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you screenshot it and then made a joke out of it, I guess a meme, and shame that person, like fat shame,
Yeah. Does that,
ugly shame.
I don't know. That's
Yeah,
fair.
shame.
What's the new gen out there now? What's the newest gen? Is it Gen?
Yeah, well,
Gen-
we got Gen Alpha now.
Oh,
What
Gen.
the
I think,
what?
right? It was Gen Z, and now there's a Gen Alpha. We're
How many
starting the
gems are
alphabet all
there?
over again.
How many gens are there?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
What
they're
gen am I?
preteens. I
I
think they're
don't know.
preteens. Gen
I'm
Alphas.
80s. What am
Yeah.
I? I don't know what am I.
Yeah.
I'm the very end of the baby boomers.
I stopped counting after Gen Y. Yeah.
I'm the very end of the baby boomers, and so I'm old-fashioned. But I don't know. The Instagram supposedly in 2025 instituted a policy where they don't notify you that someone has screenshotted your I guess what do they call it?
I always
Messages or-
screenshot.
I
screenshot
don't
a
see
lot.
how that's different from just sharing a link to somebody's Instagram.
But then it says it does notify you if there's a screenshot of if you're taking screenshots of disappearing photos or videos sent through.
Oh, I got caught one
hand.
time doing that because I just wanted to.
Oh Lord,
I don't know what I was doing. I wanted to
you were
send it.
violating copyright laws. What you were
Not
doing.
that I knew that, but I was sharing it. Oh yeah. I know what it is. So I had met this guy, and he got really friendly with me. He's not a he likes the other sex.
I got you.
No, he likes his own sex. He's gay, and
Okay.
he was like, we're
Yeah.
friends, and he was sharing stuff with me, and I'm like, the images he sent me, I was like, what the what?
Yeah.
I was just in shock. So I was like, this is kind of cool. Wow. And it was like art, but he had a disappearing thing. So I was like, let me screenshot because I wanted to remember it. And he was like, why are you screenshotting my stuff? I said, because I want to see this again.
Yeah.
Some apps don't let you screenshot.
Yeah.
actually.
Instagram.
Yeah, but you can take a photo of it
You
with another
can't
phone.
screenshot. You can't screenshot WhatsApp.
I don't know. So then,
I think.
then you're into copyright issues, I guess, right?
If they complain.
If it's the original work,
Right.
they can say, hey, this is mine. You can't use it.
Exactly.
Wow.
Well, this next, can I legally do this question? We directed towards the lovely and talented Antoinette because she has a lot of experience. Can I live stream at a sporting event?
Oh, goodness. Okay, so I'm always in something. So
Yeah, of course.
last year, 2024 Paris Olympics, I had the opportunity to be my college coach, Delethea Quarles, content creator for the Olympics. She's an Olympic long jump coach. So at the same time, I'm there like, oh yeah, this is so cool. I've never been to the Olympics. I'm Olympic trial hopeful. I've been to the Olympic trials maybe 3 times or more, and had the opportunity to try out for the Olympics, but not Olympian side here. So I'm there enjoying myself, and do I need to kick you again?
I'm sorry.
That's how we
Wah,
communicate.
wah.
We kick each other.
Because I love taps.
Anyway,
Um, so I'm there and I'm like, ooh, this is cool. I'm going to live stream.
yeah.
All of a sudden I see, I'm live stream on Facebook. All of a sudden I see all these people from all over the world. Oh, I wouldn't have had the opportunity, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. And they're like praising me and telling me, oh, I love this. Facebook. Oh, you're trying to get followers, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden my page is blocked. For one thing, I posted one picture before because one of my Olympic friends, I went to college, she had got, one of the Russian athletes had failed a drug test. So you had I forgot what it's called, where you get your medals. She got 4th place, now she's getting 3rd place, reallocation medals or whatever.
Yeah.
I post her picture. Facebook thinks I'm getting followers or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is a real person. I'm here with her. I'm not trying to, that was one strike at the Olympics. I'm like, what? And I tell them like, so I was confused. But then when I started streaming and going live, I did not know I was breaking the law or breaking the rules.
Well, when you're at a sporting event, as long as you're not broadcasting the actual sporting event, that's not a problem. But
And I was.
because that's usually it's copyrighted and or licensed to the
Didn't
teams
know.
to be able to.
And
broadcast.
over the last several years, that has become a problem with live streaming because live streaming, whatever it happens, you really can't go back on it, right?
Yeah.
You're not making edits, you're not making videos anymore. You're broadcasting that very second. So whatever happens, happen.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So what I know now is, so I'm going again for World Championships.
where's that?
This is in Japan.
When is that?
August? I don't know. We can look it up on the computer
Good
later.
Lord.
But this time
Are you
I
ever gonna be in the
made
country?
some great friends, the Jamaican people in Jamaica and their media. Shout out to what's his name?
I don't know.
Oh my shout out.
Sure, great friend.
Shout out to some friends.
I forget his name.
And now I got my media pass. I have everything. He's like, he's fine. You can't, I have media pass. So they
There you
made
go.
sure I got my media pass. So now I can get on the field, pull out my big camera and take pictures with legally. And
Like,
but that I need to share it with.
Didn't they taking away the big lens we got you?
No, I
Zoom
couldn't
lens?
bring it in I couldn't bring it in the stadium.
Right,
Yeah,
they
they put it
this
away,
on. Yeah.
and I had to rent another
It's one of
lens
those big,
because
long
I
telescopic lenses.
didn't have my media pass.
Yep.
It was just too late. We thought we could get it when I got there, but no, you have to get everything in January
So the answer,
and be connected.
so the answer basically is that no,
Yeah.
you can't live stream. You can live stream at a sporting event. You just can't live stream the actual performance.
Copyright.
Right.
That's copyright licensing.
And you
Since you
lose
mentioned
everything.
copywriting, I wanted to comment on that because I've run into
I lost my
this, and I
Facebook page for that.
you lost your Facebook
Yeah, I don't
page.
have
Wow.
I had millions I had like 5,000 something followers. They took my Facebook page.
Wow.
Yeah,
They
so,
said they were going to give it back to me. They took it.
wow. So in live streaming, I've run across this, and I'm sure all live streamers who are just starting out run into this issue is copyright claims. I actually live stream through YouTube, but it doesn't matter where you live stream from. Copyright claims are a thing.
Mhm.
Usually when you pass a certain restaurant, an event, something like that, a concert, and music is played in the
Yeah,
background,
it's so
and
annoying.
your video is suddenly flagged after you're done with the live stream with copyright claims, stating that you have to change the video, whether you have to trim it, or now there's some new software out there where you can actually remove the music without removing people's conversations, but it sounds very
Really?
muffled. So
Mhm.
if you're in a concert and most of your stream is in that concert, you have to trim it. You're down to
Yeah.
a 2-minute video from a 2-hour
Wow.
video.
It is
Wow.
so
And
sad.
it's a big problem. So that's a new problem that people are facing.
Well, how about if you're like when we're at certain events and you're live streaming
It depends
And
on how big the event
and
is.
the music is in the background playing, you can. That's a
Yeah, like
copyright.
when we were sitting at
Yeah.
Hullabaloo the other day,
Yeah.
I had to go in there and edit all my music.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to get in trouble. It was so annoying.
So you have to do a little bit of research on that. There is fair use
Yeah.
of the copyrighted material, but it's a short period of time that you can use it. If you are using clips, you're usually safe, but they don't tell you what the actual time period is. So nobody really knows what it is. Generally, less than a minute, you're safer than going over a minute. Otherwise,
Yeah.
there are algorithms out there that will catch it.
And catch it so fast.
And then there are certain circumstances. If you're commenting on a particular video
Right.
from a movie or from a song, you're commenting on it, you're criticizing it, you're allowed under the fair use.
Fair use doctrine.
Yes.
Oh, and if you're like I was working out, and if I'm playing a movie or a comedy show in the background to entertain myself, I got hit too. I got flagged because I was doing Cat Williams comedy show, and I was doing my workouts, and he was saying all his jokes in the background. No. Copyrights.
So the fair use doctrine is a principle of U.S. copyright law. Now, just as a full disclaimer, I don't do copyright work. I don't do copyright.
But we know someone that does.
But we know people that do,
Yeah.
and that's you
So
always want to
still
know someone
reach
that
out.
does.
Okay.
You can always reach out, and I'll get you the right person. But I don't practice. I don't do patents. I don't do copyrights. I don't do trademarks, anything like that. But it's but basically, you can't use someone's copyrighted work without their permission or license to use it. And so, but the fair use doctrine says there are certain exceptions to that. One. I don't think it's in the fair use doctrine or the actual statute, but one is that 30 seconds or less of using a song is usually generally acceptable. I was involved in a case when I was in law school. My law professor, Bruce Rogo, was preparing to argue at the end of the semester a case in front of the U.S. Supreme Court, and it was the case of Campbell versus Acuff Rose Music Inc. And if you may remember that Two Live Crew did a parody of Roy Orbison's song "Oh Pretty Woman."
Okay.
And the whole issue in that case was their parody of that song fair use or not?
Right. This is way before live streaming, way before the internet.
Yeah, this was in 1994.
Yeah.
Was the Supreme Court decision came out in 94. My professor was going to argue it, I think, in 93. And so talk about free labor. He used the whole class, and that whole entire semester, all we did was pump them full of questions, and it was all about fair use and stuff.
Smart man.
Yeah, I think everyone got A's in that class. But anyway, he ultimately won, and the Supreme Court ruled that the parody was a fair use because it wasn't trying to use the music to get.
It was criticizing it. That's what they mean, criticism.
Yeah.
Right? A parody is a criticism of somebody's work. Yeah.
But these are issues you got to be careful of, right? When you're live streaming and
well, what comes to mind for me the first time I ran into this was I think it was while I was in college. And do you all remember Napster? Napster was a big platform where everybody was downloading free songs at the time.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And I think Apple was actually charging for songs. They started charging for songs during that time. When you had iPods back then, before iPhones were
I still
around.
have my iPod. Yes, I still have it.
People were downloading songs for free.
What the fuck's an iPod?
Yeah. What is an iPod?
Stop being a hater.
Hey Gen Y, hey Gen Z. We'll tell you what an iPod is.
I still have an iPod.
Yeah.
Listen,
or what's a roll-up phone? But let him finish.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So what I meant is that Metallica had a problem with that.
They sued, didn't they?
Yeah, they sued. That's right. They sued Napster. I think it was around the year 2000, 2001, and they won. They won, and Napster had to shut down. Of course, there were other platforms that popped up after that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's very easy to hear your music. You don't need to download it anymore. You could just play it right off of YouTube or wherever platform.
I think Napster was also found not only have violated the copyright laws, but I think they were found like libel, like they had to pay money and stuff.
Oh,
like that.
money too.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah, so they ultimately declared bankruptcy and went out of business, I guess.
But back then, the technology was just amazing. People didn't know that they could just download for free movies as well. They were downloading movies.
Yeah.
Oh, they used to download it and sell it on CDs.
Oh, yeah, they probably did do that pirating stuff.
Do you remember those days?
Yes, I do.
I remember the early 2000s.
I know a beautiful young lady in Florida that used to go to barbershops and make extra cash doing that stuff.
Doing what stuff at the barbershop?
Selling CDs, selling movies. A beautiful, lovely young lady.
Really? Was she from Jamaica?
She was a hustler, but she was nervous as heck doing it.
There were people that were actually videotaping the movies in the movie.
I remember.
That was crap. It was so horrible.
I remember.
And the quality was horrific.
And people used to buy it $5 and $10. Yeah.
The movies.
They were on DVDs, right?
Wild. Those are like those are like the medieval days of
media. Nowadays it doesn't matter, right? They go straight to video.
Yeah. Go straight to
streaming.
How about do you remember floppy disks?
Of course I remember floppy disks.
I still have some, a lot.
Floppy
We have a VCR and this thing at my mom's house in Wellington. Yeah, we still have all that.
What is that? It's a VCR.
Let's not confuse people with cassette tapes.
Oh, VCR. No, I have a cassette tape. That's what I VCR with CD. Cassette tape. That's what I meant by VCR. VCR is a cassette tape, right?
No, not.
What's a VCR to you?
No, VHS.
Oh, the cassette tape is music.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you should have walked around and be like, "Do you know what this is?"
It's okay. We can forget that conversation. Nobody cares anymore.
When I was in high school and taking computer programming, I think I did Basic and Fortran. We had to get the computer to do anything, we had to type things on punch cards.
Oh, goodness.
And feed the punch cards through a punch card reader, which would then talk to the computer in the room next door because it took up an entire room, and then we get the answer back. So it was pretty.
Well, is it Hidden Figures? The first computers were those women from Hidden Figures.
Yeah, that worked at NASA.
Yeah, that worked at NASA. They were the first computers, the black women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it illegal to record someone without their permission?
That's a good question.
Yes, it's illegal.
Okay.
To videotape them, it's okay. To record them without their permission is illegal.
Not
anywhere.
Not everywhere.
Like where?
In some states, most states are two-party consent states. So if you're going to record someone,
their voice.
You have to tell them they're being recorded, right?
No, their voice.
Their voice.
The voice.
That's what I meant.
That's illegal. So it's not
everywhere. Washington D.C. is a one-party state. Not a lot, but there are some states that are one-party states, one-party consent. So as long as I'm videotaping or videoing your voice,
it's fine by me.
Yeah, it's fine by me.
No. As long as you're doing it, it's fine by you.
Yeah, as long as one person consents.
I always thought that the general.
So what states are those?
I don't know. I know Washington D.C. was one.
Okay.
At least it was years ago. So
I always thought that, generally speaking, like an outline, not the rule, but the outline is that if you're in public and you're in large spaces with a lot of people, there's no expectation of any type of privacy.
Yeah,
so
I think so.
If you're catching somebody while you're streaming or while you're videoing, you're not going to go up to everyone and tap them on the shoulder and say, "Can I do this? Can I do this?" When there's 100 people around.
Right.
In the U.S., that's okay, but so far I know their voice. You can't record voices.
Well, you can't specifically target someone and record their voice or conversation without asking them.
Permission.
But we're talking about incidental content.
I don't think I don't care. Wait, I do have I do have a situation with that.
Where?
When I was in Paris.
I was just going to ask you that.
Okay.
Oh my Lord.
Another
A
Paris.
mind reader. Does you hear a common theme here? I was in Paris. What are you doing in Paris? You always problems in Paris. What are you doing?
What happened
Good
was
God.
we were at darn it. I lost all my footage. My phone crashed the other day. I wish I could show you.
You were at a bus stop.
No, we
weren't you?
Oh, that too. So, okay. In Paris, there's a
What the
lot
fuck's
of,
going on in Paris? There's laws. Okay.
There's a lot of homeless. There's a lot of people on the streets. When I say it is rough in certain areas, it's like market and just people just selling their stuff and it's messy. It looks rough. It looks like, you know how down here we complain about our homeless people?
Yes.
Picture a whole village of them in one area, not one or two, a whole village.
It's part of traveling. It's part of the beauty of travel.
That's right. So tell us what happened with
I'm recording and I'm pretending like I'm not recording because I want to get this footage, which I lost it. I'm so upset. This footage just to, to have it and to say, I've been to Paris and this is what I saw and blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, this guy comes up to me and like, for one thing, he pointed at me and I turned. I'm like, I gently turned and pretend like I didn't see him coming towards me. And he was like, are you recording? I'm like, no, I didn't say no. He was asking me in another language. Right. And I'm English. I don't speak another language. I'm like, what are you trying to say?
Français.
What? No, you know what I'm saying. You're French. You're from here. You're from, because he's black. And he's thinking I look like him. And I'm like, huh? What? What are you trying to say?
Anyway.
Huh? And then finally he asked the people I'm with. And then I'm like, what are you saying? And then he was like, phone. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you're not allowed to.
And I'm like, oh, and I just erased it.
Yeah.
But I saved it. It was still in my junk.
Yeah,
I pulled it right back up.
I looked it up after that. I don't remember exactly what the law is, but France has really strict laws about filming people in public.
Yeah.
So and basically, if it's in a big crowd or something like that, it's okay. But if you're filming them individually, you're supposed to ask that permission. They have the right.
Even if it's, there was another scene, episode or whatever, or time when I was filming. I was with my coaches and we were filming one of these monuments. And this lady was in the video. She wanted me to erase it. Yeah. So I had to erase it. And then she was smart. She went into my junk, my trash, and erased it out the trash. I was like, darn it. I thought I was going to outsmart her. But once I spoke to the police officers, it's frozen? What is that?
Might be frozen.
Why is it off?
Might be frozen.
It's
so
off.
I'm wondering you can hear our voices, but maybe the picture might be frozen. Let's just make sure
Log in? No,
let's make sure let's make sure it's not frozen because it seems like the live video feed is now frozen right now for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm getting a frozen live video feed, and we had this happen to us, so I just wanted to stop it before.
Your recording stop. Is that working?
I'm not getting it yet.
Should be. Not getting it's showing us as being live.
Yeah, it says
it's showing live, but it's not showing any picture. Huh. There's an issue.
Hold on. Let me go to.
Something's uploading.
Yeah, something's uploading. Let's go to.
Oh, now I see it. Now it just popped up again.
Okay,
so there's a bit of a delay.
Oh well,
there's a bit of a delay, but sorry, folks, about that. We're just gonna roll on through here. We're gonna roll on through and keep on going.
All right, so I'll just pay attention, make sure it doesn't shut off. If anything, I just touch the screen. Fine. No, I just need to touch the screen. If it shuts off, I don't know why.
No touching at all. No surfing.
No. That's what I need to do to keep it. Because what happened is slept.
Yeah, but
I wasn't touching it. So I fell
we got
asleep.
to turn that off. Yep. Okay. Yeah, moving forward, I think we should make a note to turn all that off.
These are the fun things you learn about when live streaming and going live. And
I'm surprised because it's plugged up, right?
It's okay that we run into these issues. What's not okay is continuing to have these issues, right?
Right. Everything's plugged in there. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So
can you install a camera?
Wait.
Oh, what?
Didn't I finish about the young lady?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay, so another thing is, I'm in Paris. I know we're not in Paris. Only person or people you're allowed to videotape are the police officers. That's it.
But there are some fairly strict laws, and I think some of them you can actually be jailed or at least fined in Paris for certain recording people or taking pictures of people.
It's more of an art district, and these people are like, I'm not art. This is my life.
Right. So anyway, so can you install a camera on your porch which points at another neighbor's yard so you can see into their yard? Yeah.
Okay, I think we talked about that with Reggie the other day as well, right?
Yeah, probably.
Would they say yes or no?
No, well, there's some privacy issues about it. Like, in other words, I think you can probably. I don't think if you have a camera pointing out towards your backyard and it happens to show the neighbor's backyard, probably not. It's probably legal.
Well, this reminds me of a movie, Alfred Hitchcock, Rear Window.
Oh, yeah.
James Stewart, where he's injured and he's just viewing everybody in his apartment complex from binoculars, a telescope.
Yep.
Well, I don't know, because remember your car accident, Teddy?
Yes.
Where that was able to be used in court. Well, is that spying on the streets?
We didn't need it, but I had video proof of the accident, and that 100%.
We need to do an episode on that.
That 100% just made it their fault, 100%, because they made an illegal turn, and it was very easy. There was no explaining needed, so that was great. I actually showed it that very moment to the police. The police already wrote up their accident report stating that the other person was 100% at fault. Wow. So that helped me out with a lot of red tape.
Yeah. The whole video thing is another strange animal, right? Are you violent? You probably couldn't point the camera so you could see inside their house. Maybe that could be an issue for them.
Well, Reggie said in his example that if they're out on their porch, you could actually videotape.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, if you're walking along the street and you find something, you see something nice lying there, you're allowed to keep it?
Yeah, mine. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers.
Now,
it's all mine.
The rule on that?
Unless it's a wallet, I guess, if I feel like giving it back.
Well, let's say you do give it back. Do you get it back from the police? If you give it
Didn't you do something and no one gave you a reward? Was it you?
Yes.
Or was that?
I found a wallet with $550
in
it, and that was in the stairwell, and I didn't have a telephone number to go by. So I looked through the entire wallet. I found one random. I called it mother, and the person's mother called him, and he happened to still be in town. He was visiting from out of town. He came in, and I gave him the wallet. I go, this isn't a situation where you just get the wallet back, and I didn't find any money. I gave him all the money back, and then he didn't even give me a reward.
He didn't even give him a glass of wine, nothing.
He didn't even buy me a Coke. No.
Not that he has to, but I'm like, you just gave him back $500.
I was wondering what he would do. I was wondering, let me just buy a slice of pizza or something. Just to say thank you. Nothing. I got nothing back.
Wow. When I worked at the police department.
Shame. That's why he lost the wallet in the first place.
I don't know how many wallets. No, it's okay. But I don't know how many wallets were turned into our sergeant's front desk at the police station, and none of them ever had any dollars, any money.
Right, they never have money in them. People are walking around with empty wallets everywhere you go.
In Atlantic City, New Jersey. Oh yeah, okay, right. It was so funny. At least they got their ID back.
He had school IDs in there. He had credit cards in there, and it's terrible. You know, it's terrible losing a wallet.
Hey, John just said something. Sorry.
What did John say? Can you connect binoculars to your camera and record the hot blonde who recently moved next door to you while she's taking a shower?
Wow.
Very specific. It sounds like it might have happened. I'm asking for someone else.
I don't know. Someone at this table has binoculars, just let you know. And I'm like, what are you doing?
John, is this person already your girlfriend? That's the question.
Or in your mind.
Yeah. I have binoculars because they were the binoculars I had when I was a police officer. I use it now to keep an eye and I spy on the homeless and stuff and watch them sell drugs and everything in the park outside.
Or use the facilities of the facilities of the flower beds.
Yeah.
And the tree.
That's an interesting question, though. I don't think you probably can. Reggie drugs, you don't You really can't film inside someone's house, I don't think.
No, I think that's a definite no. I mean, that's a private spot. It's not a public area.
Yeah.
And then there are semi-public areas. An example is like a Starbucks.
Right.
So you go into a Starbucks and you're doing a Zoom call.
Yeah.
If you're catching other people's conversations in that Zoom call, then that's technically you're subject to the rules of that particular establishment. But it could be something illegal in that case because it's semi-private.
Wow.
Yeah. But if you're outside the Starbucks, that's a public area.
Yeah.
There's no expectation of
I
that.
guess who asked that question? John?
Yeah, John.
Yeah.
I
Girl
guess
taking a shower.
well, John, well,
I mean,
oh boy.
I guess for self-viewing it doesn't really matter. You don't tell anyone.
yeah.
Are you like approving it?
I don't know, John. I think you got a lot of approval.
This one, right?
What's this one?
Sorry, can't do that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, John. No.
Shame on you. Shame.
No, there's no shame. Just no.
All right. If the police come to your door and say we'd like to come in, are you allowed to? Can you refuse that and say no? Or is that legal?
I think you answered this for me once. Yeah.
Is it? I thought it was.
It's legal. You can tell them no. You're not coming in my house without a search warrant.
Yeah. What happens? What happens if you say no, though? What they can do?
They come in your house
They
legally.
can break your door down.
Right.
That's if they have a warrant.
Yeah.
That's if they have a warrant.
Well,
That's
this always runs into the problem of, even though you're right, they can still probably or possibly be arrested. But usually, without a warrant, and you can refuse entry into your house, except in those circumstances where, let's say which has happened, we face law about this, when you chase someone because they were driving erratically, maybe they're drunk, and what they do is they jump out of the car and run in the house and lock the door. And I
Then they don't have a warrant.
Yeah.
Without a warrant, they can still break your door down and come and get you because
Oh wow.
they were I forget
They're in pursuit.
Yeah, they were
somebody,
in
right?
a pursuit. Like a hot
So
pursuit.
you're saying if you're running from ICE
which a lot of people are probably doing these days.
and you run into your house and jump in there, they can't.
Well,
ICE.
the landlord let them in.
You want
too.
to do that running again? How's it going?
If you're running from
This is
ICE,
former
sorry.
track athletes.
That's how they run.
Sorry.
That's how track athletes run. I don't know about
You gotta use your arms
yeah,
more.
yeah.
Oh.
People
I
running.
know I would run faster. If
Oh,
someone's chasing.
Yeah.
A lot of people running from ice these days. So
Yeah, you get in good shape doing that. But isn't another case where if somebody you believe is in imminent danger,
yeah, they can probably
they could probably break the
No,
door
they
down?
can call the firefighter. I thought I was
Oh,
watching something. They
I
call the
think
firefighter.
I think
You
if
can't
there's-
just go in there
if you have a report of someone being attacked, stabbed,
or passed
whatever,
out.
or maybe someone's passed out. They look
In
well.
there.
Okay, I'll tell you a story about that. When I was a police officer, we got a call one time from, I think the family was in Philadelphia, and we were down in Atlantic City. And they said, we've tried to get in touch with our grandma for the last 3 days, and we can't get in touch with her.
Yeah.
She's at this address. And so my partner and I get the call, and we, of course, know what we're going to find. Either Grammy's on a vacation and didn't tell anyone, or Grammy's no longer with us. So we were able to peek through some windows, and Grammy was on the ground in her living room, and apparently looked like she was dead.
Mm.
So we broke open the door, and
Oh, I remember this.
and
Disgusting. Don't tell the whole
What
thing.
happened?
You can't
What
tell the whole thing.
Yeah,
babe.
tell
Well,
us
you
what
can,
happened.
but I'm just saying it looks bad.
so we got into the door, and we broke through the door, and ultimately we found she was passed away. So we called the medical examiner to come because we have a dead body, right? It was Super Bowl Sunday, and the medical examiner says, "Oh, I'm tied up. I'll be a few hours before I get there." Right? Meaning we're supposed to sit in our car,
Watch the Super Bowl
right? So
with Granny.
well, that's the thing. We looked at the couch and the TV, and between the couch and the TV was Grammy, and we had to make the decision: do we watch the Super Bowl or not? And we sat down and watched the Super Bowl.
Well, at least he was watching her too.
we kept an eye on her. We didn't
Yeah,
want
we
any
didn't want
nefarious
her-
activity to occur. But yeah,
She didn't mind.
no, I don't know who she was rooting for, but anyways,
Yeah.
anyways, she's the cops.
That's a good
story.
story.
Yeah. Okay.
At least you showed up and you were there.
Yeah.
And you stayed.
That was only morally illegal. That
Yeah.
one.
No.
that was-
Yeah.
Horrible. Horrible. We did horrible things when I was young.
That was illegal? That's illegal? Or no?
Oh, no, we had to. You
You got to watch her.
Yeah,
But,
but what you do is you're dead. You close the door and sit out in your patrol car
oh.
and wait for the medical examiner to show up while he watches the
But
Super Bowl.
you're used to seeing dead bodies. So
Yeah,
it's like it's not nothing
Well,
new.
cops are not immune to pranks on each other.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of those stories. We'll hit those some other time. We got some good stories about what I used to do.
I have one. Can you text and drive if I'm at a light? Can I text and drive if I'm at a light?
I believe
So
Still
she
legal in many
stop now.
states.
You mean stop,
I,
right?
I don't. I,
Can I text and drive if I'm at a red light?
I don't think so. I think it's illegal to text and drive
Period.
you're in a car. I've read the law, but I think that's what it says.
I multitask so much when I'm at a light.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So much. But as soon as I start to move, everything
But
gets
you
dropped.
cannot stay at the light, so you cannot do that.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think
It's
Well,
illegal.
Well, now car insurance companies have a situation where they give you better discounts if they're tracking you.
Yeah.
So they can track you when you're stopped. They know if you're using other apps.
Yep.
And if you do it too much, you lose the discount.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
Right.
wow.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's interesting. All right. Well, that was a good question. I like that.
Can I film? Okay, so I pulled up a few
Oh,
questions.
yeah, go ahead.
You do it.
No,
You-
go ahead.
No, you go. I
Which one
I have never read. I didn't read through it. I just pulled a few up. This one, I guess.
Which one? Oh, can I film police in public? I believe you can.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with filming the police.
Yeah.
Keep on their toes. They film everyone else, so we can film them.
I
Well, I think
heard. I
there's
don't.
one situation where if you're filming them and you're interrupting them
Interrupting,
while
interfering.
they're doing their job,
Right.
while they're arresting somebody or whatever the case may be,
Yep.
if you're interrupting them, that's when you can get in trouble. Is that right?
Yes. As long
Okay.
as you're not interfering with their lawful duties, you can stand off to the side. Even if they tell you to turn off the camera, you just they may grab it from you and throw it on and break it on the
They're
ground.
not
Or
allowed,
something.
I don't think they're allowed to do that either.
Oh, they
They
can. do
can.
it.
No, now
But
they have
no.
a recorder on themselves. They don't want to get in trouble destroying property for no reason. I don't know if this is true or not. Someone else can look it up and let us know. Now they made a law where you have to be a certain amount of distance away from any cops, crime, and whatever they're doing.
Oh.
Something like that.
Okay. Well, I mean, we weren't here. But Teddy and I were here, and we had a homeless person right outside the front door here. It looked like
the podcast.
just before the
today.
podcast. It looked like he was dead.
Yeah.
He was
He wasn't moving.
wasn't moving.
The verbal command.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then even the police officer was shaking him and didn't move at all. So we thought maybe he's dead. But the officer finally rousted him and sent him on his way. Had to pick him up by the shirt and shake him a few times.
Yeah.
He
There was
needed a
one
kick in the
time, I
head.
remember someone died out here,
Yes.
and they didn't know. They just thought he was sleeping. That's
Yeah.
another reason why they passed the laws, because the homeless usually just sleep. They let them sleep, past them, past them,
Right outside there.
Yeah. and you're dead for hours.
But yeah, but let's say he started shaking homeless guy, and Teddy and I went over and said, "Hey, you can't do that. Stop mishandling that homeless guy."
Yeah.
We could be arrested for interfering with.
That's right.
The
'Cause
officer's
he's doing
lawful
his
duties.
job at that moment.
We could have
Yeah.
filmed.
But
as long
you
as he
can't
didn't-
stop him. Yeah.
Can't stop him.
I can see how people who are filming get in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
If it's a pursuit or they're chasing somebody and they accidentally bump into you, and then they lose the suspect or whatever.
Yeah.
Can I sue for getting burned by hot coffee?
Oh,
Someone.
we did did this study in college.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. There was a woman who
Was that the
got
McDonald's?
burned by McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right? She
I
had
remember
a
this.
3rd-degree burn, and the
You were in college
coffee-
then?
I was in college during that time. We did a study on it. And what had
I must have
happened
been in
was,
high school.
what had happened was I think she put it between her legs.
Yeah.
And spilled?
When she came into the car, she put it between her legs. And the coffee at that time was
Oh, remember.
1 degree below boiling.
Yeah.
So it was 99 degrees.
How is that even possible?
99 degrees centigrade, 1 degree below boiling. It used to have a disclaimer that said coffee extremely hot.
I remember.
Coffee extremely hot. Well, when you have coffee that's brewed in your house, that's at about 80 something degrees.
Mm.
It's a lot less heat.
Right.
But in order to get the full flavor out, they would basically boil the coffee almost. So it was served to her. She put it between her legs,
Oh,
and it burned her thighs
Oy.
between her legs. And I'm not sure if she ended up winning, but it was
I
a
thought
study that we
Yeah,
had to
she
do in
won.
thermodynamics.
You got millions or
She
something.
got
Yeah.
millions.
People were outraged.
because
yeah, she
you
had
can't
30
even wear a
degrees burn.
swimsuit
Millions.
anymore.
Yeah,
Anything.
that's Scar.
Millions.
Yay, money.
Yeah, to have a scarf on your thigh.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
But we
Yeah,
had to do the
gross.
study for engineering class. I think
Wow.
it was the transfer of heat,
Right,
right.
certain layers of certain types of different scalding that you have.
Was it
And
the
then-
epidermis?
Well, it went
I want
straight
some-
through. I mean,
Yeah, it
it
was-
went straight. This is 1 degree below boiling, so it wasn't technically boiling, but I'm sure it was similar.
And
to
the
what
thigh
she got.
muscle is the thigh skin is very thin.
I'm sure they changed what
Yeah.
they used, but that's the reason why they roast the coffee at such a high temperature to get the full
Yeah.
flavor out.
All right. Well, there you go. But that was an infamous case. I mean, that woman made a lot of money. People
Yes.
were outraged by it.
And there must have been copycats after that.
Probably.
They tried.
Probably. I'm sure
Tried
they
it.
do.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hi Tim, it's TJ. Where did you guys stay in Zanzibar?
Oh my, that's my brother asking. I'll have to answer
we'll
him
reply
back.
him later.
I'll answer him back. Where did we stay? Where did we stay? We stayed at some all-inclusive in Zanzibar. I can't remember the name. I'll get the name of it. I don't remember the name of it.
I know it. It's on my Instagram
Anyway,
page.
so another question? Can I break a lease if I feel unsafe? Number one, I guess it would be you have to look at the terms of the lease. What it says, if it says anything about that, what are the landlord's duties? Probably, if you have a reasonable basis to say that you're unsafe in that house, I believe the landlord has the responsibility to provide to you a free, safe environment to live in. You probably may be able to break the lease.
Well, whose fault is it? Why you're unsafe?
Yeah.
Is it because a gang is chasing you and has nothing to do with your house?
That could be, yeah. Maybe you're selling drugs at the house.
Yeah, maybe you're
the
the
Rio
gangster.
Hotel, Rio Hotel.
Maybe anywhere you were in that house, you would be the gangster that's chased. You know, then you're unsafe to your landlord and the other tenants.
Right.
Shoot, we had a landlord that it's COVID and the price of property or value has changed. It's like, can you pay? Our landlord had the nerve to ask us to pay extra money on the rent.
That's kind of tangential, but yeah, the landlord and the son.
Can the landlord ask you to pay extra after you have a contract?
Well, they can. You can ask whatever they want, but we had to tell her we have a lease. She wanted us to pay more money.
Yeah.
Then the lease says, and her reasoning was, our costs have gone up, our taxes have gone up. I looked it up online. Your taxes have gone down.
That's why you add that when the new lease begins.
Yeah, that's why we got out of
it. Like, he seems like a nice guy. He'll just give me a little.
Yeah, we're so gullible. They're gullible. Let's take them. Take them for every penny they have. They don't need to travel. Meanwhile, we took that extra money, went to Zanzibar.
Yeah. Whatever. Oh. Can I marry my cousin?
Yes, you can. Your second cousin. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
I don't.
Well, I mean, here's a genetic reason.
I don't know. Lord, I think so.
There's 2 reasons.
Lord, I think it's legal.
I think with your second cousin, there's a much lower chance. Second cousin, much lower chance of the child having any kind of disability, deformities, disabilities. First cousin might be risky. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. Remember the back in the day?
I don't know.
They did it. First cousin.
I don't know.
So first cousin is legal?
I don't know.
What's that show?
Deliverance.
Deliverance.
Oh, Deliverance.
With Burt Reynolds.
Squeak like a pig.
They sleep with their sisters in that movie.
Hey, we got to keep it in the family.
That's right. I'm sure there's some communities that.
Well, that used to happen in royal families too. They didn't want the rich mixing in with people. That's why you probably had a lot of.
Or the money spreading too far.
Yeah,
the money. They want the money to stay in the family.
Wild.
Yeah.
Now you just need a trust. Forget that. Just call Tim. You need a trust.
That's right. Get a trust.
Yeah.
Go get a trust. Can I give someone legal advice if I'm not a lawyer? Well, you can pontificate as what you believe to be legal. Pontificate, but you can't give legal advice. And if, depending on what you're doing, it could be deemed the illegal practice of law under state law. So
I think,
of course, if someone asks you, ask you a question, of course you can say whatever you think. But
I mean, for me, sometimes I feel like I know more than Tim.
I like do what I say, not what I do.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
But I can't go LLC and be like, oh, I'm a lawyer, a law firm, blah, blah, blah.
It usually comes up when people start filing papers or giving opinion statements.
That reminded me, we had a case here in West Palm Beach that was like a 17 or 18-year-old who called himself Dr. Love. You remember Dr. Love? And he used to have actual patients.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And his name was Dr. Love. They caught him twice.
Dr. Love.
Dr. Love, yeah. And he had patients and all of that. And he was pretending to be a doctor.
Shout out to Dr. Love. Yeah, there's anyway. Okay,
so that was illegal. Yeah.
Can I perform a citizen's arrest? I think you can. Yeah. I believe it's legal to do so. Very dangerous to do so.
It is,
especially in today's world.
Especially if someone gets hurt.
In today's world in Florida, where everyone's got guns and all kinds of stuff on them.
Well, I mean, right on the sidewalk, you can't just get on your knees and put your hands behind your back. If the guy's bigger than you, he's probably not going to do it
unless he's paying you to do it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What law do we have here in Florida? It's a conceal. You have a permit. It has to be concealed, right?
But you don't have to get a permit anymore.
You don't need to get a permit anymore, right? Because of DeSantis. He changed that.
I think he wants open carry. Where you got
open carry.
You know, I have a feeling that
I don't mind
better
it. I'm not gonna lie,
because With open, they know if you're carrying a gun
Right.
or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means don't mess with me.
No, but with concealed, they don't know, so
sure.
they won't approach you
Yeah.
if they don't know.
I'm all for open carry.
Well,
You're all for open.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
all
'cause then you
wild
just
west,
a
want-
nice big 40 caliber.
Wow,
on the
You
side,
won't
baby.
approach me.
You
You'll
want a
leave me
hand
alone.
cannon.
Either you come nicely or you might get taken
You're
care of.
judged by how big your gun is.
I got a nice big 15 shot
Everyone's gonna
40
be
caliber.
walking around being dead.
And I'm going to have a little tiny one right on my thigh.
There you go.
I'm just going to how tiny my gun is.
Okay.
They're gonna have a little cute gun with a little pink slip
Yeah.
on it,
Yeah.
and, you know, like
Aw.
fur hanging off.
No, it's going to say Gamecocks. It's going to say Gamecocks on it. Little
Oh,
Gamecocks.
boy.
Oh,
It's gonna be all bedazzled. Oh no! Oh no! But they can still kill you.
Yeah. Hey,
All right.
doesn't it have to have a don't you also have to have a like a in the gun a certain a different kind of bullet, the one that doesn't kill you first, and then after that
What?
No.
No, I mean the
Maybe that's
guy robbing you. You know, doesn't get a first.
it was supposed to be a
second
sparkle,
chance.
a splatter.
No,
shot.
You need.
I heard about that.
You need a good hollow point in there. Nice.
Oh my
supercharged hollow
goodness,
point.
no!
Well, what's
You
that
should
gonna
just
do?
have the
Blow
little,
their brains out.
Right.
no, you should just have the one that pepper spray, like
No,
pow, pow,
yes,
pow.
no, no.
Pepper spray guns.
The rule is if you're
No, I mean you're not trying to kill the person
No,
at
that-
first.
They might be
At
trying to
first,
kill you,
at
though.
first, you pepper spray them just to tell you leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And then if
Pepper
they
spray
don't,
doesn't
if they
always
don't,
work.
no, not literally pepper spray. The little thingamajiggers in the guns.
I'm
If
telling you.
someone knows, let me know.
I have a question. So you're driving along and everybody gets road rage, right? Can you claim insanity when you do a road rage incident?
What?
Like we've heard of people
Yeah,
with bows and arrows. We've heard of fist
Oh.
fights. We've heard of people killing each other due to road rage. Can you claim insanity for something like that? Because it's temporary.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
I'm curious about that because people
No.
tend to become insane on the highway.
I don't honk
Yeah,
my
I have
horn
no time
anymore.
for
I
that.
don't. I just try to stay out of it because these days people are freaking crazy.
Actually, yeah, we used to honk horns.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen so much here. I know
New
coming
York,
from
maybe.
Boston, that was a way of life.
I
Yeah.
have,
That was actually courteous. That was being courteous as honking your horn.
I have a good one.
A good one. What?
Yeah. Can I?
Okay.
These are for the ladies. Can I sell knockoff designer items if I say they're fake? No. Selling counterfeit items, even if you disclose they're fake, is illegal under the federal law. So I have a story on that. So,
A story on what?
for one thing, I came from not having the real deal, so I always want
Here
the
we
real
go.
deal. I want a real Louis Vuitton. I want.
So
Anytime you
what-
see me, it's a real person. That's where I put my money. You may not see a lot of jewelry on me.
So now that you've violated laws in France, now what other country are you going to be violating?
Are you
about
wanted?
violating-
No. I'm saying I don't want to knock off anything. I don't want to knock off hers.
Why are you going on live?
But
You
at
should
the
be in
same
hiding.
time, I have a salon next to hair and extensions and wigs and all these different things. This lady came to me, oh, I have a person that can get you the purse or whatever. She wanted to trade my services
Mhm.
and the hair for a knockoff purse.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of bumbleclot.
Bumbleclad.
And they call me Jamaican, so I know it doesn't sound authentic.
Faking.
But why would I had no real purses when I was growing up? Why do I want a fake purse now?
Wasn't there a woman
I
just
don't need a
recently,
fake
not too
purse.
long ago, arrested in Palm
Rude.
What did she
For
do?
my work.
I think she was selling counterfeit
Oh,
goods.
yeah.
The one in Palm Beach.
Out
Yeah,
on the
the
street?
drug- no,
or
no,
was
no,
it in
she
a
had-
store?
No, she had a
Oh,
whole
really?
show, the whole
You're
shop,
kidding.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went to jail
You would think. You
It
would
was
think
big.
that it's real. You would think.
because I'm Palm Beach.
I'm just so
That's why I don't
familiar
trust everything on Palm Beach
with all these
anymore.
people.
Everything's not real.
Everyone's seen them. They're all over the world. They have like a blanket out there, like a sheet.
Oh yeah, that's New
And
York.
the second they see the cop,
Man,
right?
they don't wrap it up.
Yeah, it's like
That's
a picnic
hilarious.
basket. They put it together real quick and they're out.
It's
They're out
hilarious,
around
yeah.
the corner.
We were in,
quickly.
where were we? In Shanghai, in China. And this guy kept walking on. Remember we were on that, was it Nanking? I forget the name of Nanking or something, the one shopping street.
Mhm.
It's a pedestrian walkway, like a mile long.
Yeah.
It goes all the way down to the Bund, where along the river. And this guy kept following us and
Yeah.
asking questions about, you want this, you want that. And finally, Antoinette goes, okay, let's just follow the guy. Let's go.
Yeah.
And he takes us upstairs. First, we got to walk in. And then there's a door. And then we walk up this creepy little staircase.
Oh my God, it was
First
like
of all,
behind
there's a
the
lot of problems
wall.
already. You mentioned. First of all, you don't.
We
follow
could have got
anyone.
snatched. We could have gotten
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
organs taken, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Then you go to a seedy staircase, and you go up the staircase.
But I don't know. It's China.
So far, big problems.
It's China.
What else happened after that?
When you go in there, it's just a whole bunch of people in there looking at watches, jewelry,
Oh, you
everything.
saw a secret showroom?
It was a secret showroom behind a regular store. In the wall, creaky stairs, everything.
Did that mean it was real stuff or like hot stuff?
The thing is, when it comes to China, I don't know if it's real or not because they are the one that make it, so it might be the same factory.
Well, they have a whole city there dedicated to making fake stuff.
But is it really fake when you go there?
I don't know. Well, now it's going to cost you 125% more for that fake stuff.
Oh Lord!
At least it's made in that country.
What's it called? Not just China. There's another country, Asian country that we're targeting right now.
Anyway, any other questions?
Okay, so can I change my name legally without going to court?
No. You have to get a court papers to change your name.
I did bring
in virtual world, everyone changes their name constantly.
My name is Nikki. Nikki with the big booty.
Change it like 3-4 times a day. There's people with plenty of aliases out there.
I do have something though. Voting rights, just to bring that up, because I that's why I thought about the changing the name legally. So now that if you're married, I think the law just passed that married, you are not, as a woman, are not entitled to vote if your name does not match your birth certificate
or your spouse's.
If your last name does not match your birth certificate, you are not allowed to vote if you're married.
That's odd.
So it turns into a one household voting thing. So women, yay, we lost that right. Yay.
Anyway,
wait,
great.
clap for that.
What?
Clap. No, clap. Yay.
We're fine.
Okay, so next thing.
Ridiculous politicians.
Don't judge.
No,
we hear and we do not judge.
That's what lawyers are supposed to do, though.
Right?
No, judges judge, debate. I'm a lawyer. He's a lawyer.
You can debate that politicians are all assholes, but anyway.
What's the next one? I can get in trouble sharing.
They're easy targets.
That's exactly. Actually.
Well, don't be a comedian. You saw what happened to the last comedian.
What happened?
The politicians don't need to be easy targets. Leave them alone.
All right, the politicians alone.
Yeah, you can get into trouble.
Do you have any other questions, sir?
Can I fly a drone over someone's house?
I think you can, as long as you're following FAA rules. Yeah. FAA license.
Do we even talk about?
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. If you're following FAA rules.
We even talk about marijuana.
Sure.
Consider harassment.
That's a big one. Here in Florida, it is still illegal, but you can get a license, a medicinal license.
Yeah. It's because I just feel so depressed. I need it.
I'm depressed.
Yeah.
I have nightmares or I have colitis. I have to go to the bathroom.
Colitis.
Yeah. So that will help me if I smoke weed on the street.
Oh, that's bullshit.
It keeps me,
I'm telling you.
Keeps me
it's a great way
focused.
for them to make money here in Florida.
I say legalize it in Texas.
No, I don't think so. I don't want a lot of numb people. If a
They're
war comes out,
they're already numb. Yeah,
I know, but if a war happens to show up or come out, I don't want numb people fighting the battle.
What is going on with your alarms?
It's a lot of alarms on right now.
Jeez.
Turn them all off.
Can't. That means I'll be spending like 10 minutes trying to turn them off. So at the same time, that's, for me, what I've tried it, don't like it. It makes me so sleepy and useless. I don't know how people get anything done putting that in their body.
I don't know.
To me, it's for relaxation.
Well, now it's even easier because we have these vape pens and have the
they all have license.
Probably not.
No.
I know the vape also gets to put liquid or fluids in your
They all
lungs.
still have their pushes out there because it's still cheaper. We have several of these medical marijuana stores. On Comet dispensaries.
I think there's like 4 or 5 of them.
And the prices. Not that I go in there and buy them because I never did. I don't do drugs, but I know that it's more expensive in these places. So I'm sure they have their drug dealers of choice.
Well, places are for the people with the money.
But I was in Thailand last year, and I was amazed at the number of
cannabis stores.
And what I didn't realize was after the pandemic, it looks like they legalized marijuana to get income for the government. And there's a store the one place I stayed at. There's a pot store right off. You get out of the pool and you walk in the pot store. Grab a joint.
Yeah, right.
I remember I was in Jamaica. I was like, "Oh, let me try it. Give me a bag," and I got a whole bag. I said, "I'm trying." I'm like, "This is." In my mind, I'm taking it. I'm like, "This is stupid."
Anyway,
it's like I felt like I was just sucked in.
We were getting secondhand highs. I remember. We were getting secondhand highs.
Oh, this one you guys went to Thailand together.
Yeah. Is that it? have any more questions? I don't think so.
Nope.
I covered a lot.
Well,
The
listen.
marijuana was a bonus.
Oh, marijuana.
Any more questions? Does
No,
anyone have any questions out there for us to answer?
That's like I have similar opinions to like service dogs and things like that. You know that.
Oh, that's another one.
Hey, if
That's
you're
another
not
one.
a,
How
and-
easy was it to get a service dog license,
I-
right? It would be online 5 minutes. Right?
stress though. I'm going through something. I got
so much
PTSD
stress. Yeah.
from living from my sister being here.
How about people with having pet baboons and stuff in the airplane with them, and
Yep.
pigs and all these other animals?
You're allowed?
I don't know. I don't keep up on.
Service
Anyway,
pig.
well, listen. Thanks so much for joining us
Yes.
for another Saturday afternoon. We really appreciate it.
Well, I wanted to say happy Passover to everyone
Oh
as
yes,
well.
I hope you guys like my dress. It's my
Hold
Easter
on.
dress.
Hold on. There we
Yes,
go.
I know you can't really see it. Go back to the
To all who are celebrating
Yes.
Passover, happy Passover.
Yes,
Happy
and I
Passover.
have my little Easter dress. I hope you guys like it.
Is it Easter?
This Sunday is Easter
20th.
Sunday.
It's on the 20th
Oh.
this year.
Oh my goodness, I forgot.
What?
Easter Sunday is next week.
What?
Easter Sunday is on the
Is it
20th.
next week?
Yeah, the 20th. It's not. I was thinking it was
Lord.
tomorrow.
Well, obviously you're
The
mistaken.
13th. Well, if you guys see this dress again, my Easter dress.
Yeah, well,
I
all
was
right.
like, I got ready. I'm like, oh, this is my dress. I'm gonna put it on. Wait, I'm not done.
Go on.
Okay, so guys, we're located here downtown West Palm Beach in the Timothy Schulz Law Firm, 335 Clematis Street.
333.
333 Clematis Street, Suite 116. You're welcome to rent our studio, as well as we can change the backdrop if needed to make it more personalized for you.
Okay.
Please follow us. Please subscribe. Share.
Yeah,
Make sure you follow TK's event. Make sure you follow Antoinette Travel.
Thank you
and
very much.
Shout out to TK's Adventures.
Yeah.
Let 'em
TK's
know.
Adventure, TKS Adventure, singular. Thank you so much. You can follow me as I go on different adventures. I'm probably going to go on one right after the studio today, but no need to dox us. You can come on down here to the studio and rent it out
Yeah,
if you
write it
want.
down
There
if
you
you need. Also,
Just don't forget to step over the homeless person.
Oh,
lying in front of the
goodness.
door.
Right, right. If you see dead people, it's not because you have a sixth sense.
Right.
Okay.
it's ghosts. What else?
That's it.
And make sure you, if you have any questions, please reach out, share it, let us know so we can put it on the next episode.
All right, great.
All right.
Well, thanks so much, and we'll see you later. See you next week
Bye,
on,
everybody.
Bye.
legal shit. Remember, it's not just talk; it's
Legal shit.
bye bye.